Welcome to Tech Deck, the only toy brand that is truly authentic to skateboarding and the premier brand in the sport of fingerboarding. Before you can begin to master some killer tricks, it's important to know how all the parts and pieces fit together and how to trick out your new board. Each deck comes with your own set of trucks, 2 sets of wheels, and stickers for the ultimate in customization. To switch out your wheels or adjust your trucks, use the included skate tool like this. Trucks are held onto the board with these 4 screws. To switch them out, use the included skate tool. Your trucks are held together by the kingpin. The bushings allow your trucks to flex. Loosen or tighten your kingpin to adjust your trucks depending on your own fingerboard style. And don't be scared to experiment. Whatever gives you the ultimate edge will help take you from Grom to Pro in no time. Start with your index finger in the center of the board and your middle finger on the tail. This is the standard finger position for all the most killer Tech Deck tricks. Before you learn any moves, you have to learn how to pop your board. Just push down on your middle finger to pop the board up and snap your wrist at the same time. It's a delicate move, so stay with it, dude. Don't worry, it's tricky, but with practice comes a lot of mad skills. When you're ready to roll, start out on a smooth surface and push right to turn right, left to turn left. Begin by just trying to roll and pop, roll and pop. This is the first step in learning the most important basic trick of all, the ollie. We'll check that out in the next chapter. Okay, think you're ready to roll out and shred the sick tricks like the pros? First up, you'll have to master some of the basics. So, let's hit the streets for a crash course in street riding. Welcome to Tech Deck, the only toy brand that is truly authentic to skateboarding and the premier brand in the sport of fingerboarding. To learn how to shred like the pros, you first have to master the basics. Stairs, curbs, rails, benches, and ledges. The street is the ultimate Tech Deck playground. You can use Tech Deck ramps to create your own course and add obstacles from around the house to make it huge. Like real street skating, you can earn respect by shredding new obstacles and creating lines that have never been seen before. To begin any trick, you've got to master the basics. Let's start with the shove it. Start by placing your index finger in the center of the board and your middle finger on the tail, which is the kick at the back of the board. With your middle finger, push the tail down and in to spin the board around 180 degrees. Go easy, you'll need a light touch to make this look effortless. The most important beginner trick of all has to be the ollie. Just about every street trick will incorporate the ollie in some way, so it's important to have this dialed before moving on. Place your fingers in the standard position, push down on the tail with your middle finger, and slide your index finger towards the nose of the board to level it out. The friction of your index finger on the surface of the board is what actually lifts the back end off the ground. So practice this motion over and over again until you get this desired lift. There are several ways for beginners to practice the motions of an ollie. First, practicing on your leg. Start by using your leg as your riding surface. Doing this allows you to lean the board back until it's vertical or even tilted backwards, making it easier to lift the board upwards. Next, try practicing using ramps. Using the same technique as practicing on your leg, vert ramps will let you pull the board back enough to more easily lift it into the air. Once you can do this consistently, you have the basic hand motions down. And you should work towards getting your ollie on a flat surface like a table and start to clear household objects or Tech Deck obstacles. Master the ollie, and you might be ready for the nollie. Place your index finger at the front and your middle finger in the center. It will help you to have a bit of speed and momentum for this trick. So start by skating forward. Pop the nose down with your index finger and slide your middle finger towards the tail to level it out. As you can see, this is the same motion as an ollie, but with your fingers reversed. A manual is a simple trick that looks stylish and can be performed before and after ollies and flip tricks to pull off advanced lines and combos. To pull a mani, just pop the board up onto two wheels. A regular mani is done on the back wheels. A nose mani is done on the front wheels. Ride it out as long as you can by the tail or nose with your middle finger and slide your index finger back and ride it out. Then let's break out some intermediate street tricks. Let's start with a few basic slides, which can happen on benches, curbs, rails, or ledges. For a basic frontside board slide, launch up with an ollie and slide across the rail on the center of the board. Oh snap, bro! Nice slide! To pull a blunt or tail slide, you slide across the rail with the tail of your board. For a nose slide, ollie onto the rail and land with the nose of the deck. Dismount with a small pop to the board. Do not bail on this one or you will seriously crash and burn. Let's get ready to grind. A grind is like a slide, but you coast down the rail or ledge on your trucks instead of your board. For a 50-50, right up to the rail straight on. Ollie up and drop onto your front and rear trucks. To dismount, pop the front of your board off by pushing down on the tail and slide off like a pro. For a 5-0 grind, you're going to ollie up onto the ledge but balance onto your back trucks. Then try to pop off and land it. The Smith grind takes serious skills. First, ollie up and shift your board to the side. The trick is to get your rear trucks on the rail, but the front will be grinding on the board only. To dismount, it's the same as the 50-50. Get ready to go hardcore with the crooked grind. You have to start with a big air ollie. Land on the rail so that only the front truck is touching the rail. Then angle the board as you slide down the rail. Now the key is to lock the truck so you can slide the back of the board inward as you grind. To dismount, gain some speed, and pop it off and try to ride it out. With a nose grind, you want to ollie up onto your ledge and balance on your front trucks and grind. Let's go big and try some kick and heel flips. Flips are some sick tricks that will get you serious respect on the streets. For a kick flip, start out with a basic ollie. But when you slide your index finger up to level your board, slide it up and towards you to spin the board inwards. To stop, wait for a full rotation, stick your fingers and slam the board to the ground. Once you master your ollie control, this will be easier than it sounds. For a heel flip, you want to spin the board away from you. Then plant those fingers on the top of the board and slam it back down on the street. Let's take it up a notch and really push the limits of your tech deck skills with some advanced moves. Next up, the dreaded 360 flip, also known as a tray flip. It's a combination of a kick flip and a 360 shove it. It's probably the hardest flip in the book, but if you can pull it off, you will never be called a grom again. Start by popping the board, then flip the board with your index finger to start a kick flip. Then scoop it with your middle finger to start your shove it. Wait for the flip, then catch and land it. Don't over-rotate or you will eat some serious concrete. The impossible is not for the faint of heart. Start by riding with your middle finger at the nose. While you're rolling, pop the board up with your middle finger only. This time, instead of leveling off with your index finger, move that digit out of the way so the board can flip over the top of your middle finger. Once the board flips, get your fingers on top of the board and ride it out. They don't call it the impossible for nothing. Let's pull out some advanced flips next. For the hard flip, you start with a kick flip, but as soon as you begin to slide your fingers, twist your wrist towards you and this will cause the board to flip. Just catch and land it. Any trick can be made twice as difficult by doing it switch or backwards. If you usually skate with your middle finger on the back tail, riding switch would mean your index finger is on the back tail and your middle finger is in the center of the board. Any trick can become a switch. Let's start with a switch kick flip. The backside flip is a combo of a kick flip and a back 180. Start with a kick flip, but twist your wrist to go 180. Then catch it and land switch. For a front side flip, you do the same as a hard flip, but you land in the switch stance, like this. Flip a kick flip, twist your wrist towards you, catch it, and do a front 180 when you land it. Once you master these killer tricks, the sky's the limit on how many obstacles you can set up for the ultimate in street riding. Use authentic Tech Deck street tour sets or household objects to create your own gnarly tricks. Put them all together to create your own line. Grind down a rail and ollie up onto a bench. Then slide across a ledge and pull a killer feeble grind. No fear. No obstacles will slow you down when you master the deck. But to become the ultimate pro, it takes practice, practice, and more practice. It's tough to learn all these great tricks at once, so pick a trick, master it, and move on to the next. And remember, never stop skating. Tech Deck, real skate companies, real skate graphics, real skate tricks.